With the New York Jets' plans at the quarterback position up in the air for 2025 and several Lions coaches on the new Jets coaching staff, Hendon Hooker has emerged as a potential trade target for the New York Jets. A lot to get into. We'll break it down and much more, all coming up here on a Sunday afternoon, edition of NY Flight Jets Talk.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer and Jets legend Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk, Sunday, February 2nd, 2025. A lot to get into today. You see the title. Some trade rumors circulating. Hendon Hooker, Jets, 2025? Question mark? We'll see. Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel on your way into the building. Any questions, throw them in the chat. If you want to call into the show, click the pinned comment in the chat. And don't forget about our membership raffle. Every membership or $2.99 super chat you gift will get you into our raffle. I mean, we raffled off so many prizes at the end of January. So here are the prizes for February. Joe Klecko signed jersey, Mark Gastineau signed jersey, Bill Parcells signed photo, free item from the merch store, and a channel emoji leaderboard down below. So be sure to get in on that if you haven't already. Follow Italian Eddie Ralph's lead. Hit the like button, guys. Completely free. Really appreciate all your support here on this Sunday afternoon. Caden in the chat's his new QB coach. A lot to get into there. Caden will break down the Jets hiring Charles London for sure. Let's go. Yes, sir. Italian Eddie Ralph, good to see you in the building. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Jerome Strax in the house. Connor Long, the man, the myth, the legend. Jerome, you're the GOAT. Appreciate the kind words as always, my friend. Zoink Nation, my dude, Connor Long. Zoink Nation. Good to see you in the chat. I sent out your merch item. I sent the crew neck out. It should be there, I think, February 3rd to February 6th is what I saw, because you won the free item from our merch store. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, Dana says, Connor talking about a hooker on a Sunday. Go to church. Hendon Hooker, that is. Dane. Appreciate you, as always. SW Lion, our Lions fan in the building, has some insight here on Hendon Hooker. Says context is important. 1,000% when you're going to go ahead and potentially trade for someone like Hendon Hooker. Zoink Nation, appreciate your support as always. Hope you like it. So I appreciate you tuning in, guys. As always, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to those. If you want to call into the show, click the pinned comment in the chat, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Please share the video too. Sharing the video actually helps us grow so much. That's one of the key factors in the YouTube algorithm that helps us grow significantly. And the road to 2,000 subscribers, we are almost here. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,500 first. Then we'll get to 2,000. 2,000 by the draft, though. That's the goal. We're at 1,495 subscribers. Let's hit 1,500 during the show. So if you haven't already, click subscribe. Completely free. Free way to contribute to the show, and it helps us grow significantly. Our Dolphins fan, B-Show58 in the house. Go Dolphins. Hey, we have so many fans of so many different teams. We have several Lions fans. We have a Broncos fan. We have a Chiefs fan. We have a Dolphins fan. We have some Bills fans. So everyone here is welcome to talk Jets, to talk NFL. Caden comes in, says Malik Willis, I'm sorry, can't pronounce that name, is better than Hendon Hooker. I will beg to differ, but we're not going to start with Hendon Hooker. That was the plan until the Jets went ahead and they decided to bring in a new quarterbacks coach. They made this official just right before we went on. That's Charles London. Charles London, the new Jets quarterback coach. London's a really interesting one. He's a name I haven't heard a ton about. I'm going to be honest, before the Jets went ahead and hired him. 50 years old. Well, the teams he's worked with over the past few seasons, their quarterback room and overall offense hasn't had a ton of success. He was one of the most experienced options available here. Like I said, 50 years old. He was the Falcons quarterbacks coach from 21 to 22. He was the Titans pass game coordinator and quarterbacks coach in 2023. And this past season, he was the Seahawks quarterbacks coach. Basically, I got across my point what I wanted to say there. Don't particularly love the hire. He's an experienced name, but let's be real. The Falcons with Desmond Ridder, Titans with Will Levis, and Geno Smith didn't particularly have a great season. So I'm not all in on Charles London. I'm going to be completely honest. I would have preferred some other names. I was all for adding a senior offensive mind, a Todd Haley, a Doug Peterson, to come in and help out Tanner Engstrand. I think there's still a chance they do that, but if the Jets are going to view Charles London as that senior guy to help out Tanner Engstrand, I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. If they're not going to bring in another senior guy, it's okay. I mean, compared to the other name they were exploring in 29-year-old David Blau, who's 0-7 in his career as a quarterback, Commander's assistant quarterback coach, 1 year of coaching experience. I would have preferred London, but still isn't particularly an ideal name for me right now. I'm not all in on Charles London. I want to get your thoughts here in the chat. I want to get your thoughts here in the chat on what you think of Charles London. I want to see some. I would still like to see another senior name added to this offensive staff. So that's where I stand overall on Charles London. Not the most exciting name for me right now. Let's get into the main topic of today's video. By the way, David D, I see you in the chat. So we have both of our Lions fans in today, which is perfect because the topic we are going to discuss surrounds the Detroit Lions because now the Jets have the head coach, Aaron Glenn, who hails from Detroit and the Lions organization. Tanner Engstrand, their new offensive coordinator, worked his way up the ranks in the Lions offense, and Steve Hyden, their new offensive line coach, also hails from the Lions organization. So, a lot of new Lions coaches here on this Jet staff, the New York Lions, the Detroit Jets, whatever you want to call it. But Hendon Hooker is certainly an interesting name here because Hooker is someone who I'm going to be honest here, there are a lot of parallels to Jordan Travis when you look at Hendon Hooker, what he's gone through from like an injury perspective as well. I mean, he suffered a gruesome injury in his final college season. Jordan Travis, same thing. He was viewed as a Heisman candidate truly before that happened. He was in conversation to be a top 10, top 15 pick in his draft, but that torn ACL really set him back. Ultimately, he was selected in the 3rd round. Travis was selected in the 5th round by the Lions. Knowing he's coming off a major injury, he was also on the older side too. Let's keep in mind, guys, he's 27, 28 years old. He's on the older side for someone who's in his, just completed his first couple seasons in the NFL. So he's on the older side. He's healed from a gruesome injury. Still has a lot of developing to do. If the Jets were going to go trade for him, I'd still view him as a product. Halfway through his rookie contract, 9 regular season passing attempts. He's taken 33 snaps at the NFL level. It clearly did not have a lot of confidence in him to just come in even for a possession in the playoffs. That's the Detroit Lions I'm talking about by signing Teddy Bridgewater a few weeks before. And Hooker's like, hey, I want to come in. I've been the backup all season. Nope. Teddy Bridgewater, we're going to sign him off his couch, coaching high school football. He's going to come in and take over for Jared Goff for a possession when he had to take a seat. So Hendon Hooker couldn't be very, very happy with that, if I'm being completely honest. So he's someone I view who hasn't gotten an opportunity really to lay it all out on the field. He's taken garbage time snaps in I think 3 games it was this past season. But like I said, 9 regular season passing attempts, not much. The Jets quarterback position is a massive unknown for the 2025 season. That's what's taken up a lot of the conversation right now. Who's going to be the Jets quarterback in 2025? Some want, another veteran. Some want to bring Aaron Rodgers back. Some want to draft somebody or take someone in free agency who has high upside. You want to go a high upside route, Hendon Hooker could be your guy right here for the New York Jets. I know a lot of people aren't very high on him. I don't think he's gotten an opportunity. I understand the age the age is a red flag here. Hendon Hooker's age is a red flag. He's had 9 regular season passing attempts in his NFL career, and he's 27 years old. I can understand why people are concerned by that, but still, this is someone who I think has the intangibles to be a solid quarterback in this league. Before he was like I said, he was in the conversation to win a Heisman. He was in the conversation to win a Heisman before he tore his ACL. Hendon Hooker has the potential. He has a lot of upside here. Let's be honest. He's a lot of upside. Reminds me of Justin Fields a little from that run and gun type build. Again, the massive thing here is you're gonna go if you want to go trade for Hendon Hooker. What does his value look like? That's what I was thinking, because we're talking about someone who's a 3rd round pick, but he's only had 9 passing attempts in his NFL career. That's a massive concern. He's very inexperienced. I floated around an idea. Let me know what you guys think here. I want to get all your thoughts in the chat. Hendon Hooker for Jordan Travis straight up. Who says no? Who says no? Hendon Hooker clearly isn't viewed as the franchise guy there in Detroit. Heck, they felt more confident putting 30-something-year-old Teddy Bridgewater out there in front of him. Jared Goff is going to be there for the foreseeable future. I don't think Hendon Hooker has a spot on this Lions team over the next few seasons. I really don't. Not at all. He does not have a role on this Lions team the next few years. They don't have confidence. It kind of reminds me, guys, here with that Malik Willis situation when he was drafted by the Titans. Obviously, he was a second-round pick compared to Hooker, where he was in the third round. I see you guys saying no. Why not? Hendon Hooker's completely healthy. He has connections to Tanner Engstrand. He knows the Lions' offensive system. There's talks that Jordan Travis might not even be ready for the 2025 season. And you would not take Hendon Hooker over him? Straight up. Nothing else, straight up. David D says, Connor, I don't think the Lions would have serious interest in making that trade. Why? Neither one of them are going to... Hendon Hooker has no future in Detroit, David. Let's be honest. Hendon Hooker does not have a future with the Detroit Lions. Caden says doing Travis like that is dirty. I don't care. He's not going to be ready for the start of the 2025 season. Again, I'm not saying Hendon Hooker has to potentially come in and be the starting quarterback next season. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but we're talking about someone who knows the offensive system, could be someone who has higher upside as a backup. Just a thought here. We're talking about trading someone who missed his entire rookie season and might not even be ready for a sophomore campaign. It's a little risky here. Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll be sure to get to those. If you want to call into the show, click the pinned comment. And then our membership raffle. Don't forget about our membership raffle. Every membership you gift gives you a ticket into our raffle. Joe Klecko signed jersey, Mark Gastineau signed jersey, Bill Parcells signed photo, free item from the merch store, channel emoji. Among the prizes we are giving away this month here. Where are we? David, hey, Connor and everyone. Prediction, the Lions will be traded Hendon Hooker in 2025. The alternates for the quarterback 2 spot behind Jared Goff don't look appealing. They have no confidence in him to even be a backup guy, what they showed last year. They have no confidence in him as a backup. Obviously, you know more about this situation here, David, because you're invested in the Detroit Lions everything because you're a big Lions fan. But they showed no confidence in him last year. Why would they want him as their backup all of a sudden next season? I don't get that. Caden says trade Hendon Hooker for Michael Clemens. They need edge depth now. The Lions would say no to that. The Lions would say no to that. B show in my mock corrected that. In my mock, I have the Jets trading up to 1, getting Cam Ward. Titans will sign Darnold. I don't think Cam Ward is worth trading up to the number 1 spot and giving up a ton of capital for that. I don't think that's worth it. Don't think that's worth it at all. Good point. David D. The Lions, the Detroit Jets from 2017 with John Morton and Casey Rogers. True point here. True point. SW Lion, good to have you. Good to have you in the chat. Jets are now my second favorite team. Great to hear it. 2 suffering fan bases. So I'm happy we have some Lions fans in here. David D. I think the world of Teddy, great leader, very close to Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater wants to come sign with the Jets, but I think you kind of have a younger Teddy Bridgewater and Tyrod Taylor from like a trait standpoint and an experience standpoint. I'd take Hendon Hooker over Teddy Bridgewater for the Jets. Mother effing Chew, London's more known for being a running backs coach, and he's considered good at. He's had multiple stints at the collegiate level. He was with Penn State for a little while, and the NFL level as a running backs coach. Why you bring him in here as a quarterbacks coach? Again, if you're going to view him as that senior guy to Tanner Engstrand, I'm not a fan of it at all. I mean, compared to the other guy in David Blau, who, by the way, the Commanders didn't even let the Jets speak with him. They blocked the Jets' request to interview David Blau. David Blau, I have no interest in. Some of the Lions fans know why I say that there. Caden says draft Will Howard. Again, I prefer someone like Hooker who's familiar with this offensive scheme and has upside. Mike D's nuts in the building. Mike, appreciate you as always. The Wayne Corbett signed football is headed your way. The item you won in our raffle on Friday night. We did the raffle, so appreciate you guys as always. So happy the item went to a great listener like yourself, Mike. SW Lion, you're right. Connor Hooker's trade value took a hit when they put Bridgewater in. There's something there. That's why I want to get Tanner Engstrand's thoughts on Hendon Hooker. What he thinks of him. How much would the Jets be willing to give up? I think Hendon Hooker's trade value looks like right now, if the Lions were to trade Hendon Hooker, a 6th-round pick or Jordan Travis. I think that's what the Jets should give up. Not both of them together. One of the two. Mother effing choose, not a fan of the Travis for Hooker trade. All right. Caden says Jordan Travis is one-legged, and then you say you got to give him an opportunity. The injuries scare me so much with Jordan Travis. At least Hendon Hooker has been able to enter a regular season game. We're talking about flipping a 6th-round pick, a day 3 pick, or we're giving up the guy who hasn't taken an NFL snap for someone who has the traits to be a top quarterback in this league. I don't think he's going to be a top quarterback in the NFL, but he certainly has the traits to, and he's familiar with this offensive scheme. That is one of the biggest things. That is one of the biggest things here. He knows this offensive scheme. I'm not saying for him to come in and be a starter. I'm saying you give up a day 3 pick or Jordan Travis for him to come in and battle out with Tyrod Taylor for the backup job next season. Havmo's not a fan. Havmo. Sorry, good to see you in the chat. NY Jet Superfan says, what's up, boys? NY Jet Superfan, appreciate you as always. SW Line, I think the Lions are probably going to do their due diligence with Hendon now that they have a new OC and passing game coordinator. I think he's traded. I see, I'm trying to pull it up. Caden says, what if the Lions just cut Hooker? I don't think they would cut him. I think he has some trade value. I think you can get some sort of pick or a lower upside player in exchange for Hooker. I don't think they'd cut him. I don't. Caden says Jordan Travis is a keeper. Guys, for those Jordan Travis fans, I'm telling you right, I'm a big fan of Jordan Travis. I'm going to say that right now. I like Jordan Travis. I like that pick in the 5th round. However, the injury that he's coming off of and the way that it's progressed, don't be surprised if you never see Jordan Travis take an NFL snap in his entire career. Don't be surprised. David says, Connor, I don't think the Lions would have serious interest in making that trade. It goes back to my original point, though, David. Why? Why would they not take a pick? Why would they not take a draft pick for Hendon Hooker? He's not going to do anything there. They clearly have no interest in putting him in. Why would they not take a draft pick for him then? He has no future there. He has no future with the Lions. 14 years would rather draft a quarterback. I'm not big on this quarterback draft class. What are you going to get out of a Kyle McCord? Will Howard in the 3rd round? No, maybe Will Howard in the 4th round. But it all goes back to my original point of this is someone who knows the offensive system, is familiar with Aaron Glenn, is familiar with Steve Hyden, is familiar with Tanner Engstrand, who has taken a snap in the NFL before. That goes back to my original point. A very, very small sample size. Let's emphasize that quickly. Very, very, very small sample size. However, he has the traits to be a top quarterback and is familiar with the offensive scheme. There we go, Havmo. Plug and play with Engstrand sounds good. He knows the system. Joe in the building wouldn't mind getting Hooker, but would do a day 3 pick. That's what I said. A 6th or 7th rounder for Hendon Hooker sounds like a deal for me. Who says no? So, like Nation, drafting a quarterback is a bad idea. I'm tired of these young guys and young, undeveloped guys. He's been in the NFL already. To me, that's way more valuable than an undeveloped kid. Him being 27 is a plus to me too. While he hasn't been like I said, he's only had 9 NFL passing attempts. He's been in the building of an elite with an elite coaching staff. He's been in the building with an elite offense. That's important here. Let's keep that in mind. That's very, very important here as we narrow down these options. You say him being 27 is a plus. That concerns me a little because now he only has a few more years left on his rookie contract, and not having a lot of experience at 27 is a little troublesome when you're talking about a quarterback at the NFL level, but has experience. I mean, let's keep in mind here. This is someone who was considered a Heisman candidate, who's going to be a 1st-round draft choice, a top 15 pick before suffering a gruesome injury at Tennessee. Sharon, good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in. SW Line, yeah, I compare Hendon with Malik Willis. I could see him thriving somewhere else. Why shouldn't the Jets not? Why shouldn't the Jets take a flyer on him? Why not? See what he has in the preseason. See what he has in training camp. Give up a 7th-round pick in 2026. Give up a 6th-round pick in 2026. See what he has in free agency. Kyle, appreciate you tuning in. As always, John B. in the building, channel member, New York Lions. That's for sure. Good point here by SW Lion AG and Tanner. We have knowledge on Hooker's potential. That's for sure. I could see them looking at him as a viable backup next season. A viable backup. David D. Connor, it's a reflection of the Lions wanting Teddy Bridgewater as quarterback 2 in the playoffs with his wealth of experience. Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn are also very close to Teddy from their Saints days. But also, I mean, Hendon Hooker was the backup all season. They showed no... Okay, this is my thing. If he has a future there, I don't care about Teddy Bridgewater's connection to Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. If Hendon Hooker has a future with the Lions, why would you not put him out on the field for a possession in the playoff game? They're a run-first team, too. You can run a dink and dunk type offense with Hendon Hooker for one possession. If he has a future there, why would you not want to see what he has in a playoff game? He was on the roster all season. He's 27 years old. Why not? Why not? Sco says, why Hooker? What wrong with Jordan Travis, in your opinion? One word, health. Health. I'm a big Jordan Travis guy. Please don't get that twisted. However, there is a strong chance that Jordan Travis does not take a single snap at the NFL level. We're talking about someone coming off a broken leg who has not been progressing well at all, to put it lightly. There's a chance he might not even be ready for the 2025 season. Hendon Hooker is familiar with Tanner Engstrand, is familiar with Aaron Glenn, has taken some snaps at the NFL level before, is healthy. Boom. Kaden, what if the law we just addressed this? They're not going to cut him. Whether effing true, Travis has a much higher ceiling. He potentially is a higher ceiling, a little higher of a ceiling, correct. However, the floor is insanely low with Jordan Travis. This is someone who might not take a snap in the NFL his entire career. Let's call it how it is, guys. He might not take a snap in the NFL his entire career. And okay, if you want to keep Jordan Travis, see what he has, he's not going to take a snap, just why not give him a roster spot? Then why not trade a day 3 pick for Hendon Hooker? Take a flyer on him. He has the potential to thrive somewhere else. Excuse me. Sco, what has Hooker proved? He hasn't proved much. What he's proved is he's healthy. He's been around in the lead offensive system. And he's been around in the league coaching staff with connections to 2 offensive coaches and the head coach of the New York Jets. That's what he's proved. Chris J, channel member, moderator in the building. Smash the like. Listen to Chris, guys. Please smash the like button. 50 you watching, only 32 likes. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. And please subscribe if you haven't already. We're so close to 1,500. Let's get it on today's show. Let's see how far away we are from 1,500 on the program. We are 1 away from 1,500. If you haven't hit subscribe, please hit it right now. Completely free. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the draft, 3,000 by the start of the 2025 season. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. 1 away. 1 away. Appreciate you as always. Our guy, My Holy King, says Jets, Mets, Nets. Yes, sir. The like button free of charge, guys. Appreciate you as always. Kuka Lake Jet fan, you're speaking my language. Why not take a flyer on Hooker, second quarterback and knows the system? That's what I've preached all show long. Appreciate you as always, Kuka Lake Jet fan. Zoink Nation. Can Jordan Travis throw the ball? We don't know. It's more so of a question, will he take a snap in the NFL? That's more so the question here. Yes, sir, my holy king. I just want a Jets jersey with Hooker on the back. Great comment, Sharon. Joe, Travis has been largely inaccurate as a passer, usually doesn't translate well. Travis reminds me a bit of Joe Milton from like that accuracy standpoint. Poor accuracy, like kind of a run first, pass second type guy. Again, there's still questions regarding will he take an NFL snap or not. I would do the pick trade. Good to hear. I'd sign me up for that all day. Caden says at least Charles London handled Geno Smith better than the Jets, so he might be some sort of good. Now this is going to be interesting with the hire of this quarterback coach who has a lot of experience, just worked with Geno Smith. Will this influence the Jets' decision to keep Aaron Rodgers and all? It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. If they bring someone else senior in on the offensive staff, a Todd Haley, a Doug Peterson, I will feel more confident about this hire. But as of now, let's say the Jets view him as the quote senior guy they're going to add to my staff. I'm not a fan of it. Honestly, this is I'd say probably my least favorite hire out of all the hires. The hires have been great. Don't get me wrong. The hires have been incredible. But this is probably my least favorite. Probably my least favorite. Wow, guys, we hit 1,500 subscribers. Thanks so much. We're at 1,499. I said, please subscribe if you haven't already. We got 6 subs. We're at 1,505. Hit subscribe, please, if you haven't already. Helps us grow significantly. You guys are the best listeners in the freaking world. Cadence says, honestly, I wouldn't mind Hooker. We convinced you, Caden. I convinced you throughout this show here. My holy king, the Nets would have went after Doncic if they only knew even while tanking. I said if this team, when there were the Giannis Doncic rumors after this team was above 100 at the start of the 500 at the start of the year, I said let's see where we are at the trade deadline. If they're competing for a playoff spot, I could see that still. If they were still competing for a playoff spot, I could have seen them making a push at a Luka Doncic or a Giannis. But this team might get the number 1 overall pick the way things have been trending. David D. Kind of the availability of Teddy Bridgewater for a playoff game was a unique situation. I don't think it's a reflection of where Hooker stands with the Lions in the 2025 season. But this is my point. If he has any sort of future there, why wouldn't you want to see what he has in a playoff game? Why would you not want to see him in a playoff game? If he has any future there, I don't care that Teddy Bridgewater has a great relationship with all those guys. If he has any future, why would you not want to see him in a playoff game? If he has any future with your organization. Caden, will Hendon Hooker ever play for us, LML? In the preseason, you trade a 7th round pick for him, see what he has in training camp in the preseason. Maybe he could beat out Tyrod Taylor for the backup job. You never know. The familiarity with the offensive system can help him significantly here. Never know. Sco says just because Hooker knows the system doesn't mean he's going to do good. That is not the only reason I'm considering a trade for Hendon Hooker here, Sco. His availability. He's more available than Jordan Travis. Let's call it how it is. I'm gonna continue to echo the fact that Jordan Travis might not ever take a snap in the NFL. Hooker has done that before. A limited sample size, but he has still done that. And I think he might not have as high of a ceiling as Jordan Travis does, but he certainly has a higher floor. And if you want to take a flyer on a quarterback next season, whether it's a backup or a starter, I think Hendon Hooker is where you look immediately. Let's see. Where are we? Good point here by Cuca. Like, remember that Travis is old as well. I think he's already 25. By the time he's fully healthy, we're talking about 26, 27 years old. By the time he might be able to take an NFL snap, and those are the last 2 years of his rookie contract too. Let's keep that in mind here as we look at these options. Wildwave not thrilled with the QB hire. Just seems like they might want a mobile QB or heading in that direction. You're talking about the Jets hiring Charles London. Just seems like they want a mobile quarterback or heading in that direction. Are you referring to Hendon Hooker as a mobile quarterback? I'll clarify here, Wildwave, and go back to you. Appreciate you tuning in here as always. Caden says Jordan Travis is the next Stetson Bennett. I can see where you're coming from like an availability standpoint, but different career paths and how they got to the NFL from college, definitely. Daddy Shark in the house, Jets fan here. Mavs basketball fan also. Do not hire anyone associated with me. Appreciate tuning in as always, Daddy Shark. David D, Tim Boyle, and David Blau are exhibits A and B why I don't think Hendon Hooker is going to be traded in 2025. Those 2 quarterbacks were cut the same day after horrific Lions preseason game at Pittsburgh in 2022. If he has trade value, though, why would you not want to get something in exchange for him? David D, if the Jets are calling and offering a 7th round pick for Hendon Hooker, aren't you better off trading him than just cutting him? Caden says, what hire do you think is next? It's hard to predict. They just went quarterbacks coach. What do they have left? Let's say running backs coach is going to come next. That's what I'd say. Jerry Rivera subscribed. Jerry, appreciate you subscribing as always. please, please, please subscribe if you haven't already. Helps us grow so much. 1,505 subscribers. You guys are the best. Jets mess subbed as well. Appreciate you subbing as always. Yeah, if you're watching, please hit the subscribe button. Completely free. Helps us grow so much. David D, you're an absolute legend, my friend. I appreciate you as always. You're a lion. But we're gonna give you a Jets. David D, you're the GOAT. Appreciate you. 10 raffle tickets. We'll add that in at the end of the show. No names to read because we broke YouTube. And remember, every $2.99 super chat as well get you a raffle ticket. So super chat, I will say super chats are easier for us to like break down as well. But memberships are great too. Just remember though, $2.99 super chat. If you want to super chat your question, we'll cut the line right away. $2.99. Every $2.99 super chat will get you a raffle ticket here. SW Lion, piggybacking on the comparison I made earlier today. Willis was awful in Tennessee, but look at how well he played for the Packers last year. Coaching matters and opportunity. That's exactly why I compared Hendon Hooker to Malik Willis at the top of the show, SW Lion. Exactly why. Benny Bronx, I think we owe A-Rod one more year. The Jets do not owe Aaron Rodgers anything. Let's be real, Benny. He is going to have to follow a lengthy list if he wants to come back. He's going to have to work with Tanner Engstrand, adapt to the new offensive scheme. He is going to have to sit down with Aaron Glenn, and Aaron Glenn's going to have to tell him, hey, buddy, this isn't your team anymore. There's a new sheriff in town, and that's me. You're going to abide by my rules. You are going to abide by my rules, and I have the right to bench you whenever I want. Also, he's going to have to take a significant pay cut if he wants to be even considered an option. Caden Rodgers stays, Garrett gone. That is not true. The Jets have Garrett Wilson under the Jets have all the leverage in the Garrett Wilson situation. Let's be real here. Aaron Rodgers is particularly my favorite option if you want to go back on this same contract here. But this isn't true. Garrett's not gone. You have him under contract this year. You have him under contract next year. I say they extend him. I don't know if he signed I can see the Jets trying to throw a bag at him, go with a similar Amon-Ra St. Brown contract that he got in Detroit, that 4 years, $120 million. They have him under contract this year. They have him under contract next year, the fifth-year option. They can use the tag on him the year after. They can technically have him under contract for the next 3 seasons. So Jets have a lot of leverage here. Where are we in the chat? Keep the questions coming. Throw them in chat. We'll get to those. If you want to call in, click the pinned comment. David D, appreciate you. Connor definitely deserved the support. You're the GOAT. Thanks so much for the 10 memberships. That's 10 raffle tickets for you. Kaden, when does free agency start? I think it's like March 11th, March 12th. The beginning of March this year. That's when the legal tampering period opens. David, the stakes in the playoffs when you're number 1 seed extremely high. Hence, go with the number 2 quarterback you trust the most in an ultra important situation. I understand where you're coming from, but still, it goes back to my original point. If you have any future, still, wouldn't you want to see someone you would consider potentially a franchise quarterback? Wouldn't you see what he wants to have in the playoffs if you have that confidence in him and he was your backup quarterback most of the season? Wouldn't you want to see that? Connor said playoffs earlier. I meant preseason. Sorry, I always get these words mixed up. I meant preseason, guys. Preseason. See what Hendon Hooker has in preseason. See what he has in training camp. See if he could push out Tyrod Taylor for that second quarterback job. Second on the depth chart. Why not? We're talking about a 6th, 7th round pick here. That is what we're talking about. I'm not talking about flipping a second rounder for Hendon Hooker. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about trading Tyrod Taylor in a 3rd for Hendon Hooker. We're talking about a day 3 pick, guys. Sharon says Hooker could be what we're hoping Travis is. I think Travis has a bit of a higher ceiling, but the floor is very, very high with Hendon Hooker compared to Jordan Travis. Wild Waves is the QB coach hire. I'm okay with it if they add another person who has experience, but if this is going to be the guy they consider the senior mind to Tanner Engstrand, I'm not a fan. Scott said the Jets need a mobile QB. Goes back to the examples I made all the time. The teams that are always competing have mobile franchise quarterbacks. Those are the teams that compete to win Super Bowls year in and year out. Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels this year, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. They're all mobile quarterbacks. That's what you need to win in this league. You need a quarterback. All the guys who are viewed as not potential franchise guys, not very mobile, more pocket passers, are all bounced. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, Matt Stafford, they're all bounced. You need a quarterback to win in this league. As Steve Young once said, defense wins championships, quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Probably one of the best quotes I've ever heard in my entire life when it comes to, how you need a quarterback, the need of a quarterback to have success in the NFL. Wildly, I'm just happy that Tanner Youngster has QB experience. He was a quarterback in college. For sure, which helps. 8 years of play calling experience. That's what I hone in on the most. Rising up the ranks on the Lions offensive staff. I think there's a lot to like in a Tanner Youngster hire. Still on the younger side too. I'm a fan of this hire for sure. David D. Tim Boyle has the makings of a highly successful coach, much like David Blau is demonstrating already. David Blau is like the assistant quarterback coach with the Commanders. Who knows? He might be an OC a few years. Jaden Daniels keeps up this success. Maybe gets the full-time quarterback coach role there. Who knows? David Blau, still 29 years old, which is really, really interesting. Very, very young coach. Very, very young. 53, 54 in the building. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate your support as always. Matt's not mathing. 53 in the building, 49 likes. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, and please hit subscribe. Road to 2,000 subscribers. Only, what are we at? 403 away from 2,000. So please hit subscribe if you haven't already. Lane Kerner, the Lane train in the building. Says, how do you feel about the Jets? Lane, I'm not a huge fan of the Charles London hire, but the way the coaching staff is coming together, I'm certainly pleased here. Certainly pleased with the way Aaron Glenn has been assembling his new staff. My holy king, why didn't the Jets go after Eric Bieniemy or Leftwich? That last season, I'll start with Leftwich. That last season in Tampa Bay certainly turned teams away. I would take Leftwich as a passing game coordinator, assistant. They hired assistant quarterbacks coach, something like that. He's been out of the league for a few years. Eric Bieniemy just got a running backs. What did Eric Bieniemy get? I think it was a running backs coach job. Who was it with? I think he just got a running backs coach job. It's with the Bears. With the Bears as their running backs coach. That's what it is. Eric Bieniemy is the running backs coach here with the Chicago Bears. He was hired yesterday. I saw that. So Bieniemy's off the table officially. Leftwich has been out of the league for a few years. Wild Wave, I've been talking about this the past few days. Incredible, great running back coach and assistant head coach. Him and Aaron Glenn overlapped in Detroit for 2 seasons. Deuce Staley, right now, Deuce is the running backs coach with the Browns. Deuce has been an assistant head coach before as well. I would love to bring Deuce Staley in here. I hope he's their next hire, honestly. I would love to see Deuce Staley as the Jets' next running backs coach. Caden, we need a good safety coach. Chris Harris is going to be the defensive backs coach, so he's basically honing in on all those positional groups. David D, I disagree, Connor. I think the Lions brass still believe Hendon Hooker as a viable number 2 option moving forward. There's no way I can envision the Lions trading Hooker in 2025 for a late round pick. But what is his future there? Maybe you view him as there are other options, I think, in free agency that I could see the Lions coveting if they really were all in on. They wanted Teddy Bridgewater as their backup in the playoffs. Andy Dalton's available in free agency. Jacoby Brissett. What is Hendon Hooker's future there? Do you think he's a franchise quarterback with the Lions? Do you think he will ever be a starter for the Lions for a full season? Do you think that? You think that, David? I want to see what you have to say. 60 of you guys in the building here on YouTube. Appreciate you as always. Like, share, subscribe. Pumps us up in the YouTube algorithm, allows new people to find the show. So appreciate you as always. Any advice, throw them in the chat. We'll be sure to we'll try to listen to you guys. Whatever you guys want to see this offseason, throw it in the chat. We'll try to make it possible. Appreciate you as always. Dakota in the building. Dakota, appreciate you tuning in as always. Lane says, who do the Jets draft? Will Johnson, Mason Graham, Ted McMillan. Those are the top 3 guys I want the Jets to cover in the draft. Charles M in the building. Is there any info on where Jordan Travis is health-wise? They're saying right now, from like a health standpoint, there's a chance he's not ready for the start of the 2025 season, which is pretty crazy. Dakota, appreciate you, the great Connor Long from Long Island, a young legend in the making. Dakota, appreciate you as always. Good point here from Wildlife. Sam Howell could be in play too, since the quarterback coach comes from there. I would prefer Hendon Hooker from Sam Howell. We saw smaller sample size. We saw a sample size of an okay sample size of Sam Howell with the Commanders for a little. Let me pull up his numbers here on Pro Football Reference. Good point, because he's coming from he was with the Seahawks this past season. Same with Charles London. So we'll go Sam Howell. Let's see. Where is he? Yeah, that 4-13 season though with the Commanders last season, 63% completion, almost 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns. Could be 21 interceptions as well. It's scary. I would rather trade a pick for Hendon Hooker than covet Sam Howell. And is he free agent? He's free agent. Then go after Sam Howell in free agency. I just think there's a way higher ceiling with a guy like Hendon Hooker here. Charles M., your pick at 7. We went over this. Will Johnson, Mason Graham, Ted McMillan are my top guys. If none of those guys are on the board, I think you trade back. Let's see. Lane says, do the Jets sign Justin Fields? He's certainly in play. He's certainly in play next season for the Jets to sign. Similar to Hooker. Okay, Fields has a higher floor than Hooker, but they both follow that pattern of a high upside guy. We're talking about Hendon Hooker or Justin Fields. I'd probably take Justin Fields, but a lot of options in play because it's a massive question mark where the Jets go with the quarterback position next season. So a lot of moving pieces. With the new coaching staff, though, Hendon Hooker familiar with the offensive scheme. Why not trade a day 3 pick for him? SW Line Connor, if you're Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, do you think the Jets might make a run at Matthew Stafford? I would like Matthew Stafford on a 1-year deal, 1-year veteran minimum, not 1 year, a cheaper deal. I think Matthew Stafford could be a okay bridge option for the Jets next season. I do. I think he'd be an okay bridge option on a cheap contract. He's proven he's been able to win in this league. Bring him in. Why not? The question is, what does that contract look like? That's a massive question. What is he looking for right now? Skos' thoughts on Jackson Dart. Second round. I'm not for taking a quarterback in the second round this year. If the Jets are going to take a quarterback, I want them in round 4. Will Howard, Kyle McCord, one of those guys. I don't want to take Jackson Dart. I really don't. I understand all the hype. He's coming from Ole Miss. I hope he has success in the NFL. I'm just not buying it. As people are throwing him out as like a top 10 pick, I'm not buying that hype. As a second rounder, I think he's an okay pick for any NFL team, but certainly not in the first round. Charles makes a good point. Hooker reminds me a bit of Geno. Thing is, if Hendon Hooker wants to show anything throughout his NFL career, he's going to have to show it quickly, and it starts with him getting out of Detroit if he wants to ever get a starting opportunity. Because I don't think he has any future in Detroit as a starter. I don't think he's a franchise guy. I don't think he might. Who knows? I don't even think he'll start a season for the Lions, personally. Where are we? Well, Dave, yeah, I just checked Deuce Staley's only a running back coach for the Browns, so we can offer him the assistant head coaching position along with running backs coach as well. Does he have any? What about if he has it? You can give him potentially 3 titles here. Does he have? Let me go to Wikipedia quickly. Does he have any experience as a run game coordinator? Because the Jets are still looking for that as well. Jets still don't have a run game coordinator. They've been O-line coach, but not a run game coordinator. He's never been a run game coordinator before. The run game coordinator hire, I think, is going to be. It's been one that nobody's been talking about recently, but I think it's going to be a big hire for the Jets. Utilizing Breece Hall correctly is going to be a huge key to success if the Jets want to make a push to the playoffs and get back into the postseason for the first time in 14 years. Because Breece Hall was underutilized. They didn't use him right last season. You have to find a way to open up these gaps for Breece Hall, and that starts with getting a legit run game coordinator in the building. That's what it starts with. Sko says, what about Anthony Lynn? I threw him around as an offensive coordinator candidate. Not a lot of people liked it. The problem is you can't give him the running backs coach and assistant head coach title because he has that same role with the Commanders right now. I would love Anthony Lynn. The problem is I don't think he's taking a lateral move from Washington to New York. I don't think he's doing that. Jay in the building, checking in from Israel. Jay, great to see you in the chat. You have a great trip. Where we throw the questions in the chat, we'll be sure to get to the rest of your questions here. Where are we? Elijah, why don't they sign or trade for a Geno Smith reunion? He's a free agent. I don't think he has any interest in coming back to New York. Any interest whatsoever. Nope. I don't think he has any interest in coming back to New York, where he failed miserably. Jay, why do you think that the Lions did not go with Tanner as their OC? I was a little surprised. I'm not surprised they didn't go with him as the OC because Dan Campbell was big on someone who has experience. I was a little surprised that Ben Johnson didn't explore bringing him to Chicago, but hey, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and I am super happy the Jets were able to land Tanner Armstrong. 8 years of play calling experience, 2 different stints with the Harbaugh family, connection to Darren Mucci, connection to Aaron Glenn. I'm a huge fan of this hire, but again, I want someone senior to come along with him on the offensive staff. David D kind of echoes my point here, wanting someone who has more experience. Also, good point. Morton was connected to the Lions. Mother effing Chew, O-line coach. They hired Steve Hyden, so the Jets do not need an O-line coach yet. SW Line, Connor from SI. According to those with knowledge of the situation, new offensive coordinator is very intrigued about the quarterbacks on the Lions roster, including Hooker. Hey, I hope Hendon Hooker has success in this league, no matter whether it's with the Jets, the Lions, or any other NFL team. I'm hoping he has success. I love those stories, guys who get off to a rough start from like an injury perspective in their career and carve themselves out a nice career. My whole point, the point of this video is if the Lions are taking calls for Hendon Hooker, this is the point. Necessarily, if the Lions are taking calls for Hendon Hooker and are shopping him, the Jets, I think, should be first in line to answer those phone calls. And if they cut him, the Jets should the second he clears waivers, boom, pick him up. Second he's put on waivers, pick him up right away. If they're going to take calls for Hendon Hooker, though, the Jets need to explore that option. That's the point of this stream, and that's the point I've been trying to get across. If he's available, the Jets should covet him as a backup quarterback. David Connor, I think Tanner wanted to be a play caller this season. Hence, the Bears weren't as appealing as the Jets to him. True. Yeah, because I think Ben Johnson is basically going to be a play calling head coach next season. Good for him. It's going to be his first season calling plays at the NFL level. It's a bit of a question mark. He's called plays for the DC Defenders. He's called plays for San Diego. Is he able to incorporate that to the NFL level? Is he able to take what he learned from Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, and the whole coaching staff in Detroit and kind of echo that same message over here? A lot of Lions coaches on the staff, which I'm a fan of. I mean, you have Steve Hyden. You have Tanner Armstrong. You have Aaron Glenn. I like the way the coaching staff is coming together. I know I've said it quite a few times, but that's where I truly am right now. Have Mo O-line improved in pass protection, but couldn't open any lanes for my boy Brees. That's what I said. You need to get a legit run game coordinator in here to open up those gaps for Brees and make him a top running back in football because he has potential to be a top running back in football. The Jets just misutilized him last season. Look what he did in 2023 with an awful O-line, an awful quarterback. He's top running back in all football, really. Over 1,500 all-purpose yards. That's where I am. You need a legit run game coordinator in here. Awesome LA in the building. What do you think about our new quarterback coach? Awesome LA, I said it earlier. If he is going to be the senior guy to help out Tanner Engstrand, I'm not a fan of it. I would still like to see someone else come on. Out of all the coaching staff hires, Charles London is probably my least favorite if I'm calling it how it is. That's where I am with Charles London. Gangrene Goliath, appreciate Connor knows shit. I don't agree with all of his tags, but he knows football and Jets, and he knows football and Jets football for sure. If people are looking to gain football knowledge on our Jets, Connor is definitely deserving of a sub. Gangrene Goliath, you're the GOAT. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Hey, that's the whole thing. It's a safe space. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. We engage here. We have fun Jets conversations. That's what it is, Gangrene Goliath. I appreciate you as always. JoJo's not excited about this quarterback coach. I can't blame you at all. I cannot blame you. I can't blame you here, JoJo. All right. I appreciate you tuning in. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the NFL draft. We're going to wrap up here soon. So last chance to call into the show if you'd like to by clicking the pinned comment in the chat. Final chance to get your questions in. If you want to know the conversation, then our membership raffle. Last chance to give memberships for today's show. Prizes we're giving away this month: Joe Klecko signed jersey, Mark Gastineau signed jersey, Bill Parcells signed photo. Free item from the merch store, channel emoji, every membership or $2.99 super chat will get you a ticket into our raffle. I appreciate you as always. Sco says, Connor, do you have a Mets page? No, but I mean, we could throw, if you guys want it during the season, we could do some Mets content on here. I don't know how many Mets fans we have in the building, but I would love to do some Mets content in because when the Mets are at the heat of the season in like June and May, that's when the dead period is for football. So we're still going to try to do daily Jets content throughout all the dead periods. However, if you guys want to see some Mets content, we'll throw it on the channel for sure. So I appreciate you guys tuning in here as always. Almost an hour-long show on this afternoon. You guys are the best. Awesome LA says MLB and NBA content, question mark. We could do NBA content as well. It's all about what you guys want to see. Like if you guys are willing to come in, hang out, and talk NBA, MLB, NHL, NFL, I'll be open to doing it. You have any suggestions, guys? Join the Discord down below. Completely free, great Jets talk, exclusive content, all that by joining the Discord. Then our merch store, NY Flight Jets Talk hat, and much more all in the merch store. Please check that out in the description down below. Appreciate tuning in. Last chance to submit your questions, call into the show, get in on the conversation. If you'd like to, Awesome LA, what's your favorite NBA team? I'm a Nets fan. Awesome LA, the way things have been trending over in Brooklyn, not too great from a winning perspective. That's what I'll say. Awesome LA, but hopefully they draft an Ace Bailey, a Dylan Harper, a Cooper Flagg, or someone along VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson. Things are turned around quickly in Brooklyn. You're a Brooklyn fan too. Awesome LA. Good to see you. Appreciate it. This goes down for Mets content. Hey, we'll do it. We'll do some Mets content in season. Caden, did you see my question? I did not. Oh, there it is. You threw it back in. Thank you so much. Should we be worried about the rest of Glenn's staff after this coach decision? I don't know what you mean. Are you talking about the other pieces that are already in place or the pieces that are going to be added in the future? Clarify and we'll give you an answer here, Caden. Almost an hour-long show. Appreciate you as always. You guys are the best. Fastest food reviews. Our guy Chef Kevin just finished my brunch shift and stumbled into Connor doing a show. Chef Kevin, appreciate you as always. You just got in at the buzzer. We're going to wrap up here shortly. So I appreciate you checking in and tuning in as always. Caden says add in the future. No, not at all. I'm going to be honest. Like, I understand why people aren't too excited overall with this hire, but let's not panic. It's not like the Jets, Aaron Rodgers retired and they made him the quarterback coach. Like, this guy still has experience at the NFL level. He seems to be well-liked around the league. This is not the end of the world. Let's be honest here. It's not the end of the world. I'm not panicking whatsoever. Honestly, it's not even guaranteed that Aaron Glenn's going to be a great coach. You have to wait until they put a product out on the field. It's all about, you can win a press conference. You can get some nice coaching additions. You can make some moves in free agency. It goes back to my original point, which I echoed so many times last offseason with Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. You can do everything you can to put this team in the best position to win. All that matters is what you produce on the field. All the off-field stuff is nice. We're the New York Jets. We're built for this shit. All put on your seatbelts. All of that is great. But it doesn't matter until you put a product out on the field. It really doesn't. So I'm not overreacting to anything yet. Awesome, LA. Hope we get that guy from BYU, Igor. Yeah, Igor Demin, one of the two. He's certainly a nice guard. The Nets, could look to add. Appreciate you all tuning in. We're gonna wrap up here soon. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. You guys are the best. 52 of you in the building on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe helps us grow significantly. 62 liked. You were the best. Last chance to get your questions, comments, thoughts in here. We're gonna wrap up. Should be back tomorrow. We've been trying to do daily content here. We're trying to do some daily content. Any advice for the content? Check out the Discord down below. Join that, and then check out our merch store on myflightjets.cat. I think we have like 19, 20 items. So check that out if you haven't already. David D, great show. David, you're the GOAT. Appreciate you as always. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks so much for the memberships. Caden says have a good one. Likewise, Caden. Likewise. Caden says, will you be back with another hire? If there's another hire today, yes, I will be back on. I will be back on if the Jets make another move today, so yes. Havmo says, thanks, Connor. Good takes, bro. Havmo, you're the GOAT. Appreciate you as always, and I appreciate you tuning in. At the buzzer, we'll pull this last one up from Zachary Berner. Thoughts on London? 15 years as running back coach experience, only 5 as quarterbacks coach. That's something that's interesting because he's been a running backs coach at the pro level and the collegiate level. So it's certainly interesting that you bring him in as a quarterbacks coach opposed to a running backs coach when he only has 5 years as a QB coach. I don't know what to make of that overall because this happened 5 minutes before we went on, so I wasn't able to dig too deep into his resume overall. I don't know what to make of it. But again, let's not panic. He has experience at the NFL. He seems to be well liked around the league. Let's not panic over the Jets hiring a QB coach here. Like I said, everything can happen in the offseason. It doesn't matter until they put results out on the field. So that's my mentality. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but that's where I am right now. Appreciate you all tuning in here on this Sunday afternoon. Back tomorrow. We'll be back today if there's some breaking news and other hire, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate you tuning in. As always, I am your host, Connor Long, wrapping things up. As always, JTS, Jets, Jets, Jets.